Oy vey, these robots are absolutely just getting a little bit too realistic. As your data is not private, so isn't our nuclear secrets that were just sold by an Israeli spy a few years ago that threatened nuclear war against the United States. All of this is happening as a former convicted spy met inside of a U.S. embassy with our U.S. ambassador who didn't tell the White House, Trump, or the CIA about it. As Tucker Carlson is saying, this is shocking behavior, as of course it takes a lot to shock people now, as this is a major big story that deserves our attention, as individuals like Cenk Uygur are saying this is the time that Trump doubles his security service protection, as it looks like the Israelis might not be too happy about what looks like a new Saudi Arabian weapons deal that might give them F-35s. What in the world's going on here? John Kiriakou has some very interesting comments surrounding all of this, as this is a story that I think is worth paying attention to, as we have this bombshell Guardian article from 26 years ago that talked about how a lot of the stuff that has been stolen from American classified documents, American intelligence, was allegedly given to the Soviets to give Soviet Jews visas to Israel? Huh? What in the world's going on here? We're going to be talking about that, as well as the latest controversy, all here on this independent media broadcast. If you appreciate these type of daring conversations that usually end up in censorship land, subscribe. We definitely appreciate all the time that you spend with us and all the videos that you share. Now, let's just get right into this story, because this is a big story, as we have a U.S.-Israeli ambassador, Mike Huckabee, right? We were just finding out, according to the New York Times, that he held a secret meeting with convicted spy Jonathan Pollard. Now, this is a guy who has been convicted in the 1980s for passing classified intelligence to Israel, now having meetings at U.S. territory with all of the other intelligence that we have down there. And you don't tell the White House, you don't tell the CIA. This is an off-the-book type of encounter. What? What's going on here? As some people have some very serious questions. Of course, this is a guy that was sentenced to life. He served nearly 30 years in prison before being pardoned by Donald Trump in 2020, as Mike Huckabee has been for many years now, fighting for his freedom. He previously supported him. Who else was there? Allegedly Mark Levin's relative, huh? What's going on here? As this is a big story. The Reuters, White House was unaware. U.S. Ambassador to Israel met with convicted spy. Now this matters because, again, you're allowing the guy in who stole our documents to a place full of our documents, full of our secrets, full of our information, and you're not telling anyone about it. Red flag, red alert, red alert. Do we care about U.S. national security? Do we care about our classified documents? Do we care about our information? As of course, listen, this is the guy that Trump did pardon, right? And there was a lot of people, especially in the intelligence community, that weren't too happy about this, because a lot of our secrets were leaked, were released. And as The Guardian reports, it probably ended up in the hands of our enemies at the time. As The Guardian is reporting 26 years ago, with an article that is titled, U.S. Secrets Used to Buy Freedom for Soviet Jews. The article goes on. The Israeli spy Jonathan Pollard gave United States military secrets to the Soviet Union in exchange for exit visas for Soviet Jews, a U.S. magazine reported yesterday. The report in The New Yorker appeared to be timed to preempt President Clinton's expected decision whether to free Pollard. Now, this was a major issue during Bill Clinton's presidency in the late 1990s. A lot of people believe that this has also been something involved with Monica Lewinsky, his mistress, that he shared a cigar with in unexpected ways. Now, again, he was given a life sentence in 1985. Israel has been asking for his release. Trump granted his release. And then there are reports of him flying on the Andelson's plane, Bibi Netanyahu meeting him on the tarmac. And now this same person is looking to be a part of the Israeli government and become an Israeli politician. Now, the CIA, the intel agency, ruled against his parole. Clinton eventually did not grant him a pardon. And this is why some people believe he got targeted with the Monica Lewinsky scandal. Now, that's the lore. That's the conspiracy surrounding all of this. As a lot of people are saying, hey, we need answers for what the U.S. ambassador is doing here. He met, quote, with a convicted traitor to our nation, Jack Posobiec wrote. And a lot of people have a lot of different things to say about this particular issue, as even Steve Bannon came out and said Huckabee needs to be recalled and removed immediately.
And Huckabee, the clown ambassador, who's an embarrassment, a total embarrassment. What he's saying with this insanity, he ought to be recalled immediately and removed immediately. And my buddy Joe Pollak, I know people go crazy. I think Joe Pollak are the ambassador. I do, because Joe Pollak.
Yeah, Trump needs to replace him, in my own personal opinion. Now, before getting to that clip and a lot more, before showing you more comments and more important context to this entire spy saga, especially the Clinton saga, which is really interesting, we first wanted to tell you about, really quickly, wearechange.shop, where you could get amazing, incredible supplements like our Liposol Vitamin C, fat-soluble vitamin C, a big high dose of it, which is key, especially during this cold and flu season. Liposol Vitamin C has been shown to be a very powerful antioxidant. It boosts your immunity and helps out your immune system. Pro-oxidants, lots of people have a lot of different theories about what it potentially does. And again, do your own homework before believing any of those particular theories, before putting anything into your body. Make sure you do your own homework. But there are a lot of new findings showing how Liposol Vitamin C and collagen are, quote, the ultimate skin glowing concoction. And a lot of people report, oh, wow, yeah, my skin's looking really well, really good with vitamin C. Now, vitamin C, again, something I just take proactively, especially if I go on flights, especially when I travel. Can't recommend it enough. We have a good source of it. Make sure to take it with your food. Make sure to take it with some fat, as this is some really high quality premium stuff you can't get in many other places. You could get it now. Wearechange.shop. Support us, support yourself, all here on this independent media broadcast. Now, there's also this video of Jonathan Pollard, an Israeli spy.
Admit this, we are
literally talking about how previously he was blackmailing the United States with nuclear war. Yep, this is the same guy that the U.S. ambassador Mike Huckabee is meeting in on U.S. territory with.
Admit this, we are now feeding our enemy. I mean, this has never happened in history before, and you have to ask why. And I don't want to hear this business that it's consistent with Jewish morality. It isn't. Anybody saying that doesn't know anything about Jewish morality at all. Oh, let me bring you back to October 1973, during the Yom Kippur War, when Henry Kissinger instituted an arms embargo against us. And what happened? What happened was an A-4 Skyhawk was parked at Tel Nof Air Base with some interesting weapons under its wings. And we told the Americans, take your eye in the sky and take a good look at the airplane that's on that runway. And then
now that's a nuclear-capable bombing aircraft. Yeah.
Next day, the airlift started to Israel. The arms airlift.
So in other words, we threatened their...
We threatened to use unconventional weapons. I'll leave it at that.
Nuclear weapons. How did they get nuclear weapons? That's the question. I'll leave it at that. He's speaking very vaguely, but I think everyone knows what he is saying. As Cenk Uygur says, They should double Trump's Secret Service protection. Huckabee having a secret meeting with the traitor Jonathan Pollard is deeply unsettling. Israel is livid about Saudi arms deal. Israel first inside America has predictably turned on Trump. This is the time to be cautious. Yeah. And listen, if you're Israel, you're like, wait, what weapons are you giving Saudi Arabia? Wait, you're giving them more advanced stuff to be more capable with us? So, of course, there's a lot of conspiracy lore around Jonathan Pollard, a lot of speculation. But they talk about him, and they describe him as, Dr. Gudick says, as the worst spy in U.S. history, as he stole U.S. intelligence for Israel and is accused of course, giving it to our enemies during the Cold War. Now, there are theories that the Monica Lewinsky tapes were used to pressure Clinton into releasing Pollard. Now, I haven't seen any kind of evidence of that. There is speculative evidence, correlations people are making. It wouldn't surprise me if that's the truth. But again, we're talking about a situation that, of course, usually happens. If you look at extortion, compromise, blackmail operations, this is how spy organizations operate. There's a reason spy agencies work with actors and models and very beautiful people, and they use seduction as one way to gain information. You're telling me we're not going to be doing that with the President of the United States, with Monica Lewinsky running around there, with Bill Clinton kind of looking around like, oh, yeah, there's Hillary. Oh, goodness. Oh, look, there's Monica. Oh, look at that. John Kiriakou, a former spy who exposed a lot of the wrongdoings of the intel agency, came out and had some interesting things to say about this, saying and agreeing with many people on the right, saying Huckabee needs to be fired immediately.
Jonathan Pollard, as you noted, was arrested in 1985 and charged with spying for Israel. He did not do it for ideology.
He says he did it for money, right? He did it for profit. And then he went on and described this type of situation. As then he later went on, he was like, I'm surprised he even went into the embassy because I would have been afraid that the United States would have arrested him.
That if I were Pollard, I would have been afraid to enter the American embassy because I would have been afraid to be arrested. With all that he said, advocating using nuclear weapons against the United States, I would.
Sorry, we're having. It looks like Twitter's having some problems themselves here. We apologize for the inconvenience, as of course we'll do our best to continue this without playing some of the videos. But then he later kind of went on saying, yeah, this guy should have been hesitant, but he wasn't. And this was off the record type of meeting. Tucker Carlson responded by this, saying this is shocking behavior from a United States ambassador. Is Huckabee going to explain it? And I think he should. Sagar responded, U.S. Ambassador Israel Mike Huckabee welcome convicted U.S. spy for Israel into the U.S. Embassy. And this was in July. What else happened? What else is going on? What other meetings is the U.S. Ambassador Mike Huckabee conducting behind the scenes without letting the United States, Donald Trump, and the White House know about it? As Chris Menahem reports about how it wasn't just Mike Huckabee, it was also David Milstein, Mark Levin's stepson, that held and were at this meeting at the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem, as Pollard confirmed that, quote, it was a friendly meeting, and then went on to trash Trump as a madman, which is wild since Trump is the one that pardoned him. You would think that there would be. Oh wait, I think he's talking about Millstone potentially doing that. Who did that exactly? I don't know. I'm not even clear here. But again, Mike Huckabee, 14 years ago, was lobbying for the freedom of Jonathan Pollard, right? So Mike Huckabee, who of course has been a long time ally of this guy and a friend of his, and has been pushing for his release, obviously becoming the next ambassador, obviously meeting secretly, obviously highlights how this is a long ongoing relationship between the two.
Governor Huckabee joins the recent calls to act in benefit of Jonathan Pollard, who has spent more than 25 years in U.S. prison for spying.
Yeah, he was sentenced to life in jail. He, of course, never fully did that, as now people are saying, well, Mark Levin, 2 weeks ago, attacked Tucker Carlson, called him a little B because he attacked his stepson. And in reality, it looks like the stepson is meeting with traitors to the United States here. Now, again, some people are trying to make this a left-right issue. Some people are making this a far-right, moderate-right. But again, there is a splinter between the right-wing Republican conservatives out there. I'm going to make a separate video about this because right now we have U.S. senators literally talking about how they want to pass legislation against Nick Fuentes, which I think is absolutely idiotic. Tucker Carlson had some very nuanced points to make about this, and we're going to be talking about Tucker Carlson's points about this. But first of all, I want questions answered. What in the world is going on here? What is the purpose of these meetings? What is the purpose of what a lot of people are saying could be secret backroom deals being made here? And I share some of the same concerns as Cenk Uygur does. Of course, people are responding to him saying, UN Candace should seek psychiatric help. Listen, in a day and age of espionage, of spying, of blackmail operations, of secrets upon secrets and betrayals. And again, this is not the first time that Israel is accused of taking our secrets and then selling it to our adversaries. Of course, there's also a very serious spying scandal where the Israelis are accused of taking our tech that we're giving them and giving it to the Chinese. It's a major issue, right? It's like, wait, you're giving them an advantage. You're giving them our secret hidden information. You're giving them our advanced tech. And the United States has given a lot of advanced missile systems. The United States helps them with their Iron Dome system. Trump's like, we don't got an Iron Dome system. I want an Iron Dome system. He's like, we're going to create the Golden Dome system. Satellite kind of space weapons that are meant to knock out major missiles at us. Automatically, I'm thinking about this Netflix movie and this Netflix show about diplomats and just like what really happens behind the scenes there. Top level propaganda show anyway. But Cenk responded to this saying, you think it's normal for our ambassador to have secret meetings without the CIA or the White House knowing? And that meeting is with a traitor that gave our intelligence secrets to Israel at a time when Israel is furious with Trump? You think that's all normal? None of it is. And again, Donald Trump has been a major proponent of peace inside of the Middle East. And we have seen specifically Benjamin Netanyahu not listen to his direct requests. And again, a lot of this unfolded publicly. Bibi Netanyahu specifically defied the orders of Donald Trump twice, very publicly, highlighting how essentially he gets to do whatever he wants here. Now, there was a lot of back and forth, especially with this last peace deal in Gaza. Some people are saying, I think the Huckabee Pollard meeting was a little too public to signal anything nefarious. The scary meetings are the ones we will never know about. And that's a good point here to make here. Now, the New York Times reporting on this now is interesting. As some people are saying, there's nothing nefarious to see here. Trump pardoned this guy. Trump let him go. Mike Huckabee's his friend. They're just talking about Pollard becoming a politician and running for a seat in the Knesset. And I'm like, listen, in this day and age where Trump just had shots taken at him, with Charlie being taken out, with Bibi not listening to Trump, with there being a massive kind of break in relations, I think skepticism is your best friend, as well as being a little bit more extra careful. as there's a lot of things that the Israelis still want to do that they're not getting the green light from Donald Trump on. And again, Donald Trump gave the green light on a lot of stuff. We'll see how things unfold here. As of course, a lot of people are saying, well, who's Mike Huckabee loyal to? Is he loyal to America? Is he loyal to Israel? As right now, it looks like the left and the right are aligning with asking some very serious questions about this particular issue. And if you agree that these are serious questions that need to be addressed, that Huckabee needs to answer for, especially when it comes to like, hey, what did you talk about? Can you show us the minutes of this meeting? Can you at least share it with the CIA so the CIA knows what's going on? As the CIA is not even happy themselves with them being backstabbed before. And it's one of the reasons why there's such a major kind of disconnect here. I never thought I'd be saying this, but the CIA has reasons to be pissed. Whoever thought I would be saying that? Anyway, thank you so much for supporting independent media, supporting your own health, making sure that you guys are healthy, happy, getting all the great supplements on WeAreChange.shop. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys doing that, and this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more. All here exclusively on YouTube.com/WeAreChange.